Good morning, everyone, and welcome to KSAT News Now on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
There we go, hanging out with, it's Chongo Tuesday.
It's Chongo Tuesday.
Explain what that means, Sarah.
It just means it's one of those days you're going to have to roll up your sleeves and you have to put your big girl hoops in and your chongo in, like real
that.
tight.
Yeah.
Like
that doesn't hurt, right? Does it?
My head is numb at this point. When I take this down at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, is that my scalp? Is that feeling?
You start to get some feeling back to your top of your head.
Shout out to Patty Acosta, my mom, who gave me Patty Acosta ponytails my whole life, where they were so tight. My whole face was like facelifted. Oh. And like I'd have these giant bows. Yeah, no. So
you know what?
I've
heard that you know what you got to make it last, right? Throughout the entire day.
Right.
You're probably running around, like getting into things, so you have to make the chongo last.
Thick, heavy hair like I do, you got to just hairspray.
Yeah.
Like
do whatever you got to do to keep that thing in place. Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, it is a Chongo Tuesday here. KSAT News Now. All right, we got a lot of stuff going on here. We're of course streaming, podcasting, everywhere that you get your news, and we're going to be talking about pangolins today.
Pangolins.
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 Pangolins. Pangolins. Oh, see, we're getting pangolins. The first time ever on KSAT News Now that we're doing pangolin talk.
Pangolins.
I probably watched that so many times.
No, now you're merging penguin and pangolin.
Okay.
And
either way, cute mammals, and we'll explain this later why we're talking about these cute mammals that need help. Penguins.
And also pets.
Yes.
Pet owners. I think we're all pet owners for those here. They help you live longer.
There we go. We'll explain why. It was a story that you did. So pretty cool. Yeah, we'll check that out. And of course, the latest here on Joaquin Castro's health diagnosis, some big news that he released yesterday or shared with everyone yesterday. And also student loan debate. I know this is something a lot of people
We're actually live streaming those oral opening arguments right now on KSAT.com. And we'll talk more about that. But first, we're going to talk about our state capitol being filled with gun violence prevention advocates today, appealing to elected officials to make gun law changes.
All right, so this comes days after the 9-month anniversary of the Robb Elementary School shooting, and the Coalition to Prevent Gun Violence is made up of several organizations across the country.
So Lives Robbed is a nonprofit started by 4 of the Robb victims' families, will be part of that rally at the state capitol. Their main asks are to raise the age to purchase an assault-style weapon and increase background checks.
And this rally will also include gun violence survivors like 10-year-old Caitlin Gonzalez. She lost her best friend, Jackie Cáceres, at Robb Elementary and was, in fact, in a classroom across from the gunman. So you can imagine she's got some horrifying things to sort of relive here as she talks to lawmakers.
Brave girl. Okay, so that rally starts at noon on the South Side steps. It'll last for about an hour before the group splits up and heads into every one of the offices in the Capitol to meet with state representatives and senators.
That's right. And of course, one of those senators that has been meeting with the families in Uvalde, Senator Roland Gutierrez, as he continues to fight for gun laws there. There's a quote that he gave yesterday. Lee Waldman's up there covering this for us and said that, you know, the counter is that to this argument is that young men will always find another way to get it. And he said, quotes, well, let's make that a little bit more harder for that to take place.
Yeah, our Lee Waldman, she was there. She's been there since yesterday reporting on this, and I'm sure she'll bring us updates as soon as that rally starts in less than an hour.
That's right. Okay, so moving on to other news here, also kind of dealing with the state capitol here, state lawmakers. U.S. Representative Joaquin Castro just announced yesterday that he underwent successful surgery at the MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston to remove cancerous tumors in his intestinal tract.
Yeah, so according to a recent statement by him, doctors discovered small and slow-growing tumors last summer. His prognosis is good, and he's expected to make a good recovery in Texas before returning to Washington.
Yeah. When that was part of what he said yesterday in his statement was that he had received this care and that he's going to recover here at home and then be able to go out to Washington there. So one of these things that kind of caught, I think, a lot of people by surprise. So he said that he's going to be recovering here in Texas for several weeks before returning to Washington to continue my work on behalf of the people of my hometown here in San Antonio.
So those tumors that were found in his small intestine, he described that the doctor said that they were mostly benign and slow growing, so they weren't aggressive.
Okay.
And so they caught them early enough where that's why his prognosis, he says, is good. And he thanked, of course, the MD Anderson team and also the UT Health team here in San Antonio for helping him.
And another reminder just to get screened, you know, when you get of age to start doing that, especially for some of these cancers. I think this was his GI tract, which is part of the digestive system. So yeah, definitely something to keep an eye out, and you know, our best wishes to the congressman there as he recovers here before heading back to DC.
Yeah, it's a good reminder of awareness. My dad is a GI doctor.
Oh,
and
really?
he always talks about that. He's like, if you ever feel anything that's out of the ordinary, stomach pain or anything like that, just go get screened, go get checked out, because sometimes it could be something serious. But if you catch it early enough, they can diagnose you and remove or treat you however they need to.
And that's always the hardest part, is just being like, well, you know, where am I guess in my sort of, I guess if you want to call it like your pain level, to be like, hey, let me go get checked out.
Also, just because you're young, like Joaquin Castro, it could happen to any of us.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, wow. Okay, so I didn't know that about your dad. That's very interesting. Shout out to your dad and your mom today. Your mom doing the chongo and your dad doing great work there. Okay, so moving on here to another big story throughout the day. This is the student loan debate. President Biden's plan to cancel millions of dollars in student loan debt faces a critical test today at the U.S. Supreme Court.
People have a lot of opinions on this, those who have the debt, those who paid off the debt. And so those arguments will be heard this morning to see if the president's student loan debt relief plan stays in place or not. 40 million Americans are waiting to find out whether the president will be allowed to wipe away or reduce their student loan debt.
That's right. And at the heart of the case is whether the president has the legal authority to move forward with this plan. The Biden administration already approved student loans for 16 million borrowers to be wiped out in part or in full before the legal challenges went ahead and halted that program. So the plan now remains in limbo until the justices decide this case.
So lawyers for 2 individual borrowers in 6 Republican-led states set to argue that the plan the President Biden announced is a gross overreach of his executive powers. The plan is a key Biden campaign promise that they would cancel up to $10,000 in student loans for individuals earning less than $125,000 a year and $20,000 for those who were recipients of Pell Grants.
Yeah, so a lot of different numbers there, but this is starting to be discussed today. The justices are expected to release their decision sometime in June. So again, this started today, but it's going to take a while here to hear all of these arguments, and student loan repayments remain on hold until that ruling comes down.
Yeah, so that ruling coming down in June, and I know a lot of people who jumped on this and they applied, and then they got a message being like, well, it's been halted for now.
Yeah, I think it was like 26 million applications, and then 16 million were approved, so there was 10 million there that were still kind of in limbo, and that was back in November when they stopped approving that because of these legal challenges. So still a long ways to go here.
Okay, well, we are streaming that on KSAT.com right now.
Yeah, make sure to check that out. All right, Sarah, I know you're very, very invested in this one here. Yes, a recent study here revealing that those that spend more time with their doggos experience a 300% increase in oxytocin? Oxytocin levels. Okay, take it away, sir.
300% increase. So the 87.3% of Americans were reported that they're happier than the average person because they own a pet. So this is not just, for dogs.
Right.
Shout out to Sarah Spivey owning her cat Nora. Even those who own, I don't know, a cuddly turtle,
maybe a hamster, a guinea pig, or something.
What's it called? A hermit crab.
A lizard. Hermit crabs.
Yeah, I had hermit crabs growing up. They're okay. Okay, so recent research also shows that dogs, they pick up on chemical and psychological cues from their owners and intensify current feelings.
So I totally agree with that. Yeah, petting cats can also release oxytocin, and owning pets can contribute to a longer life through stress reduction and fighting cardiovascular disease. Yeah, I totally think, I mean, pets are like a spirit animal almost. They're like right there. They see into your soul.
They just know.
I think
They
that
do.
Nora is my angel. Like, she literally will, every time I feel sad or something, she'll just come and
Right.
want to be around me and make me feel better.
They
so-
100% know. I mean, I can
They do.
I can be so stressed out and have the worst day, and I walk in and like everything melts away because
Yeah.
I see Scooby and Sister like so excited.
They
to
just give
see
you
me.
unconditional love.
I
There you go.
know.
That's what it is, more than anything.
So adopt a pet.
Adopt, for sure. Even adopt a hermit crab.
Hey,
From
yeah, if
those
you're allergic-
earthbound
Hermit crabs
stores.
need love
Remember
too.
those earthbound stores?
Yeah.
And they
And I-
have just
They're
like
just like,
tons
yeah,
of
these
crabs.
weird
I had those hermit crabs,
You
yeah.
just like pick them up.
I also had a turtle too.
Oh.
It's at my parents'
I had a
house.
hamster. Hamster was my first pet.
Okay.
Did yours
Max.
ever escape?
No, so my hamster was kind of weird. So his name was Max.
Okay.
He was
That makes sense.
constantly like sleepy, like all the time. Like I
Yeah.
know they're nocturnal animals,
Yeah.
but I think something was maybe a little
Did
wrong
he just
with
not
him.
wake up one day?
No, well, yeah, but that was that was like
God.
20 years ago. At
Well,
this
that
point.
took a dark.
Okay, so but I would like have Max, and he would like sleep on my chest.
Yeah.
And then one time I left him on my little bunk bed, and my bunk bed was a beige color like my hamster. And we went to the mall because it was the 90s. And then when we
Just like
came
that.
back, Max was still sleeping
God.
on the bed.
Wait, was he alive?
Yes.
He just
Fully
was chilling on
alive.
the bed.
Yeah.
Good for
Wanna-
Max.
Yeah, he sounds like a real therapy animal. Just
Yeah,
always
for
wanted
real.
to cuddle and
Hamsters
sleep.
can be
Yeah.
therapy animals too. But okay, that's not why I'm here. I'm here to talk about the weather.
I
And there's a-
enjoyed that story though. By
thank
the way,
you.
also, Sarah, you look good. The fit. I know a lot
thank
of people
you.
are
The
commenting.
watermelon- the
goodness.
watermelon
commenting
vibe.
So
on
many
it.
people
Yes.
have been talking
A
about
little,
my
like,
fit today, so
yeah.
thanks.
Yeah,
Appreciate
great
it.
fit.
It's called color blocking. Okay, so it's 66 degrees outside right now, cloudy at the airport, but as you can see, skies have recently just started to clear at the airport. Here's a look at the satellite, and you can see there's just a thin sliver of clouds left around San Antonio. We're gonna have full sun for the remainder of the day, which means really warm temperatures. It's in the 60s right now, but just by noon here, I think we'll be able to pop up into the 70s. This afternoon, we're expecting a high temperature in the upper 80s, 87 for the high. And then tonight, we'll be seeing temperatures fall into the 60s. So a pretty warm day today, but not only is it warm today, it's also going to be very warm tomorrow and Thursday, potentially our first 90-degree days of the year on Wednesday and Thursday. Notice that's going to be some 20 degrees above the average high. Then we see a front move through Thursday night, and that'll make things more palatable into the weekend as well. Now I want to show you where that system is right now. That system is currently out in the Pacific Northwest, bringing snowfall to parts of Northern California and a lot of rain as well. I'm going to take you through the future cast here because this does not look like a potential a very heavy rainmaker for us, but it will be bringing severe weather to a good portion of Texas and these Gulf Coast states here. Here's a look at the future cast right around 5 o'clock when that front will be moving through. As you can see, most of that rain will be confined to areas nearer to Dallas and out to the east. This is where we have a threat for numerous severe storms in this red color here, from Dallas to Texarkana to Little Rock to Shreveport to Jackson, Mississippi, down even to Huntsville in Texas here. So this is where we could expect a severe weather outbreak of sorts. Scattered severe weather is possible for Houston area, Port Arthur. Here in San Antonio, we are on the edge of the severe weather threat. Only an isolated severe storm is possible, generally along and east of 281. Now again, we're going to be on the edge. I'm only forecasting about a 10% chance for a stray storm. So the chances for storms are very low in San Antonio. But behind this front, the big story is going to be the wind. Take a look at potential wind gusts on Thursday in the evening hours after sunset. We could see wind gusts of up to 50 miles per hour around San Antonio. That'll knock over your patio furniture for sure, maybe even lift up some very light materials, so keep that in mind. And it's also going to create a higher fire danger on Friday behind that front as well. So some things to keep in mind. The heat's going to be with us the next couple of days. Make sure to stay hydrated. Then Thursday night, we're going to be watching for an isolated strong storm, mainly east of San Antonio. Then with that front moving through, it's going to get very windy. Again, wind gusts of up to 50 miles per hour. To put that in perspective for you, a severe thunderstorm wind gust is considered severe at 58 miles per hour. So we're going to be close to those stormy wind gusts without the storms present around San Antonio. But at least the weekend, guys, I'm calling it right now. Best weekend of the year so far this weekend.
Okay.
We're going to have chilly
bold
mornings with comfortable afternoons in the 70s and low humidity.
Hey, did it go? Because I remember on Sunday you had forecasted for 39. So it's slowly, temperatures have gone up for the weekend?
Yeah, I think in the hill country we could have some areas in the 30s for Saturday morning and potentially Sunday morning as well.
I like that I can do 40s.
Yeah.
The 30s.
Nice. Yeah. Just
This
gotta get past the wind.
This forecast has been dedicated to my hamster Max.
Very nice. You hear that, Max?
We never heard what happened to hamster Max.
Well, I mean, he died at like 2.5
Lord.
because hamsters die when they're like 2.5.
Okay,
That was unfortunate.
You know, my mom would always tell me, like, oh, it ran away. They never ran away.
Right, no,
Yeah.
no, they never
Where
did.
would the
They
hamster
went-
run away to?
I don't
It's in
I don't
hamster
know.
heaven now.
One time we did have a hermit crab run away. Like, we let it loose for it to
They
walk.
don't run very fast. How'd
Well,
that thing run away?
Have you ever seen one of those? They
Yeah,
they can be fast.
Can you
Yeah.
catch it?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did learn some very valuable information. Sarah's turtle was named Harley.
It's
I knew
still
something
alive.
about her. Okay, thanks.
Harley will outlive me. It's at my parents' house, and my mom is begging me to take it home. But he lives in a mansion there.
Yeah.
They've got like a
Probably got a good
40-gallon
situation
tank. Oh
going
yeah,
on.
I'm gonna have to build a pool in my backyard for Harley one day. It's gonna get so big. Okay,
All right,
speaking
shout out to
about
Harley. Thank you, Sarah.
speaking more about animals
This whole
saving
KSAT
lives.
News Now today was all about the animals.
Okay, so if you're not listening to our podcast and you're watching on your screen, you're looking at a pangolin.
Why are we looking at a pangolin right now? Because they're getting some nice, like some Secret Service protection here. Buster and Bess, they are two British dogs that are heading to Thailand to start their new roles in protecting these critically endangered pangolins.
I love this story.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
The Labradors recently graduated from a training program with the Metropolitan Police and will fly to Thailand in April. These dogs have more important jobs than me.
Well, yeah, they're on the front lines here. So about 200,000 pangolins are believed to be trafficked every year. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did some pangolin research a little bit earlier, but this new paw enforcement team,
Oh my God, look
wow,
at them. They're so cute.
will work on sniffing out pangolin smugglers, smuggle things through airports, ports, and roads so they can be rescued and returned to the wild.
I hope
Save the pangolins.
the pangolins. So I looked up like why are these smuggled? Because they're used for traditional medicine. Their scales are, or to eat their scales, and people want to eat them. But I'm
Yeah.
like, apparently some people find them delicious. But I mean, they're so cute.
Yeah, and they also are the only mammals in the world to be covered in protective scales. Did you know that?
Wait, so it's kind of like Thailand's armadillo.
Kind
But
of, yes,
way cuter.
exactly.
Way
Thailand's
cuter.
armadillo.
Yeah.
So yeah, you mentioned their scales. They're made from the same material that's found in human fingernails. It's interesting.
It's like hard.
Pangolins. Get some
Pangolins.
Yeah. It's a keratin. Keratin?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. That's the material. Okay, so if you had a pangolin, what would you name it?
Pangolin.
Penny the penguin?
Penny. Potter.
Pete the penguin?
Pete the Pango. Pango. What
Pango
was
the
the
penguin.
name of the 101 Dalmatian?
Pongo.
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 Pongo the penguin.
Pongo the pangolin.
Look, just stay away from the penguins, okay? These two
You're
dogs are
saying
there to
penguins
take it.
or
Penguins. Penguins.
RJ, it's pangolins.
All right, we're going to wrap things up here on KSAT News Now. Always a great time with Sarah here on Chongo Tuesday.
On Chongo Tuesday, make it a good one. See you tomorrow.